Back to this, the story of the city of St. George in Rouge, Baton, Louisiana. There's a lot more to this than people know. There's a lot more to this than people know. It wasn't just about Secede. Now, who's telling you that St. George was his community, Catholic community, and all this? Okay, I figured that the mayor of Dawsonia would know a little bit about this. So we did the story from the New Tenochtitlan Times. If you missed it, here is the headline. Louisiana will get a new city after a years-long court battle. Now, I want to talk to my listeners at 1010 WXKG in Atlanta. The boys are thirsty in Atlanta. They got beer in Texarkana. We gonna get it there no matter what it takes. You people have an area in North Atlanta that is called, what's it called? Somebody from Atlanta call me and help me out here. I've driven through it 1,000 times. I should know that. I knew it before we came on the air. I have a brain spasm now, and now I can't remember. But I do know that for the nearly the identical exact same reasons, that area has tried to secede. Is it Marietta? No, it's not Marietta. Oh, gosh, there's an exit. You cross the city is named for the major thoroughfare, or the major thoroughfare is named for the city. In any event, it is, oh, God, what the hell is the name of it? In any event, the same exact thing has happened. Buckhead? Maybe it's Buckhead. Yeah, I think it is Buckhead. The good people, the citizens of Buckhead, Louisiana. I mean, Georgia. 10 years ago or so, tried to leave the Atlanta metro. They did petitions, same thing as St. George. They got enough signatures, same thing as St. George. They got it on the ballot, same thing as St. George. And then the Georgia court stepped in and said, you can't have a vote on this, you pedestrian peasant, you haughty, arrogant boobs. You're married to the poor people of Atlanta, and they have the right to everything that's in your pocket. All the property that you own, you have to subsidize and support their schools. And so, to my knowledge, now maybe I got this wrong. Again, 1010 WXKG, the King listeners, got to be somebody out there that knows that's an expert on this. I know enough. I know it because I covered it when I was on the SiriusXM Patriot channel. Call-in line phone number is 844-527-8723. Email address, IamKingDude@protonmail.com. You know that Buckhead tried to do this, and they were basically told by the state of Georgia or the courts in Georgia that no, being a city in Georgia is a life sentence. You can't leave. It's Hotel California. It's Hotel Georgiana. You can check out any time you want, pal, but you can never leave. Now, maybe you have the legal means to do so. As of March 2023, Georgia senators rejected an effort to allow Buckhead to secede from Atlanta, with 10 Republicans voting, it's this stupid party, voting with Democrats to doom the measure. The effort was prompted by concerns about crime, and the mayor's office says that crime has decreased in the police district that includes Buckhead since the last push failed. Note that they're using utilitarianism. No, it's fine. The schools are great. The cops are awesome. There are no problems. They're not answering the question of whether or not the people of Buckhead or the people of the city of St. George have the right to govern themselves, damn it! That's the question. The Louisiana Supreme Court has gotten it right. They do. The idiots running the legislature in Georgia, that criminal cartel class that calls themselves Republicans, have gotten it wrong again. Who in the hell are these people to deny the people of Buckhead the right to determine how they wish to be governed. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this is as fundamental as it gets. This is from May the 3rd, 2023. Georgia senators reject Buckhead efforts to leave Atlanta. So now, the great state of Georgia that still has Stone Mountain inside of it, a ginormous, beautiful piece of artwork with Robert E. Lee and Jefferson Davis and Stonewall Jackson, and I forget who the fourth is. The state that still has a small part of its flag as a Confederate symbol now is a prison. Now is a territorial gulag. You people that live in Buckhead, you ought to start wearing T-shirts around with your gulag number on it. Buckhead gulag resident number, and then give yourself a number. There are other cities. Let's talk about California for just a moment. People that live in Northern California, they call themselves no-callers, don't want anything to do with the lunatics that run the state of California. And look, these people are hippie, dope-smoking, sandal-trotting, on granola bar chomping, raw milk swilling wackos. They don't want anything to do with their similar class than San Francisco, City by the Gay, or Sacramento. They tried to leave dozens of times. There's a plan out there in the state of California where it is to be broken up into at least 6 recognizable republics.
The Buckhead situation, again, it's all about tax revenue. They make up 40% of the total tax revenue. That's why they won't let them leave.
So in other words, the successful, hardworking people of Buckhead have to subsidize the slothful, lazy-ass, public housing stuck-in lower class that doesn't want to get out of its own way. In Atlanta, now what would happen if Buckhead were to leave? Then the people of Atlanta would have to fend for themselves.
So the Senator Frank Ginn, who is a Republican, said, quote, "If we jerk the heart of the city of Atlanta, which is Buckhead, out, I know our capital city will die," end quote.
First of all, it's not the heart of the city. I've driven through Buckhead. It's north.
He calls it the heart.
It's not the heart of the city. The heart of the city is where Peachtree Plaza is. The heart of the city is where the Georgia... You've been there where the CNN Center is. That's the freaking city. I've been there. You've been there. Millions of people have been there. We all know what this is, that where the heart of the city of Atlanta is, and that's not it. Oh, that's the heart of the city where all the money goes, though. Oh, you see, folks, at the end of the day, it always comes down to the green-eyed monster. It's where the show, it's Jerry Maguire. Show me the money. Show me the money. And you people in Atlanta, you people in Georgia have the unmitigated gall and audacity to actually say this publicly, where you have Stone Mountain 20 minutes, 30 minutes nearby, maybe 40 minutes. It shows Jefferson Davis, Robert E. Lee, and Thomas J. Stonewall Jackson. What a bunch of frauds. You know, as much as I love the state of Georgia, and I do love it, I'm going to vacation there again this summer. My dear friends run the Bulldog Kia in Athens, Georgia. I love Athens. I love the area of Dahlonega. Hell, I've even been to sporting events in Atlanta, even though you people hate all of us from Louisiana. I've been to 3 games in Atlanta. I went to 1 Saints game. I'll never make that mistake again. I ain't never going to a Saints Dirty Bird game in Atlanta. It wouldn't be prudent, not gonna do it. Terrible experience. You people are mean. You're mean and you're foul-mouthed. I'm sure there are many of you that are good, but the people that we experienced, it was a Monday Night Football game where Drew Brees broke the NFL record and threw 7 interceptions. It was the night I chose to go to a Monday Night Football game in the old Georgia Dome. Went to the LSU Georgia game in 2016, 17. What was his name? Was still playing for the Tigers. Oh gosh, he went to the New York Giants. Won a Super Bowl with Eli. Then he went to, I can't remember whatever his name was. In any event, we were treated like redheaded stepchildren and heckled there. Then we went to the SEC championship game 2 Decembers ago for one of the years that Georgia was in its two-peat, and they won. And again, there were some cool Georgia people, but again, we got heckled. Heckled and sneered at and what. We didn't look. If you Georgians come to Louisiana, we roll the we roll the Cajun coon-ass carpet out for you people like we do everyone else. At the end of the day, we're just good Louisianans. We just want to party, hang out, have a good time, love our families, our friends, and our neighbors, and we invite you guys in any event. I think it's an absolute travesty that Buckhead can't leave Atlanta, but St. George can leave Baton Rouge. Well, maybe you guys have a case to turn to now, and maybe you can use the reasoning of the Louisiana Supreme Court to go like, well, why come we can't do that? You know, look, folks, I'm telling you, this is happening all across the amber waves of Biden's renovation. People are realizing that the scale of things that they must interact with, whether it's government, whether it's business, whether it's agriculture, whatever it is, things are so far out of scale, and they just intuitively know that something is wrong and something needs to change. But I congratulate our fellow Louisianans. Man, so that is awesome news about St. George. So, Mayor of Dusoni in the chat room is going like, King Dude, that is a huge area of Christians and Catholics. Evangelicals and Catholics that have made their own schools. You know, this is the thing. If you start building your own private schools and going like, screw you, we're not sending our kids to your government indoctrination camps. They get angry because they want your kids. They got to have a hold of them. And then when you start going like, not only are we going to build our own schools, but we don't want to fund yours anymore because our kids don't go there. This only makes sense. But again, 2024 America, that's not how our game is played, though, is it? 844-527-8723, our call and line telephone number, 844-5-CRUSADE. What is this okay, this is good. Want to thank Brian O'Neill, Dave Fender, and Ricky Kaler for being the first up to donate today and trying to hit our April crowdfunding number. So that's 130? So that means, so we needed about 900. So 770 to go to hit the number today. Can I count on one of you? Go to crusadechannel.com/donate and help the Crusade Channel stay on air live as we currently are constituted. All right. Let's do some digital media files here. I want to take you back to yesterday. Play the clip from Tucker Carlson that we did not get to yesterday because I think this is what's afoot. By the by, you know what else happens in a state legislature? When a new city is created, they get to elect their own representatives to go to the State House. So St. George now will not be stuck with state representatives from Baton Rouge in places that they don't have their best interest. So St. George, Louisiana now gets to send its own state senators and representatives. Same thing would happen to the good, fine people of Atlanta, Georgia, listening on 1010 WXKG The King. Great day to be live on air on our flagship station, is it not? Buckhead leaves Atlanta. You get your own state representatives and state senators. This is the Crusade Radio Network. So here's Tucker yesterday laying out fact 1, fact 2, fact 3, fact 4 of what is actually happening and what is probably going to happen this November if something is not done about it.
the numbers you need to understand. Yale University released a study last week by 3 researchers, all of them liberal, I believe, who concluded that the actual number of illegal aliens in this country is not 11 million, it's north of 22 million. 22 million. Fact 1. Fact 2. The Democratic Party is now, as a matter of policy, calling for the legalization of all illegals in this country. Citizenship voting rights. 22 million new voters. Fact 3. The overwhelming majority of first-time immigrant voters vote Democrat. Fact 4. The largest margin in American presidential history was 17 million votes. 1984 election between Mondale and Reagan.
And Reagan, yeah.
17 million. You would add to our voter rolls 22 million, at least, permanent electoral majority in perpetuity. That's what this is about. It's not about making the country better, serving our labor needs, helping the population. It's about putting Democrats in power forever. That is the truth of our immigration debate, period.
Okay, it's about putting Democrats in power forever. Of course, we know that this has been the ruse going all the way back, probably into the 1960s here, but they've just gotten a lot better at it. Now, the question is, okay, if we know this, Tucker, what are we going to do about it? There's also a story today, speaking of my friends in Atlanta, and they're in a break right now, so they can't hear this, but at 1010 WXKG The King. There's also a story about election fraud in Georgia, and this guy has continued this case. He's been pursuing it and paying his own lawyer and his own lawyer fees, and he has now produced documents that show quite clearly that there were people that voted in the 2020 election that used a write-in candidate capability and wrote in, for example, John Ossoff as their choice for U.S. Senator. But if you look at the ballots and you put half a dozen of them or so side by side, what do you see on the write-in? Identical penmanship. I'm not talking about the same guy wrote it. I'm talking about it's the same ballot. Copied and then pasted and then a new name typewritten or digitally entered into it. But the write-in is the same. So what do we know as far? This is April, the last day of April 2024. What do we know? The Democrats intend to use the 2020 script once again, and the regime leader does not plan on going anywhere, even though he can't remember what his name is on most days. He can't even read the jokes they give him at the White House Correspondents' Dinner off the teleprompter. But they are so desperate to hold on to power. So what is it that they control that they must maintain control of? This is the Mike Church Show here on the Crusade Radio Network. So I ask the question again, what is it that they control that they must retain control of? Now, this is going to take me a little while to unpack this one, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to come back next segment. We're going to talk a little bit more about the tulpamancers and modern-day witches and witchcraft, which is responsible for a large part of what's happening amongst Utes out there. But before we do that, let us do... It's always a great day when you get to play the Nazi Pelosi, Queen of Pain update theme song here. It truly is always a good day. It's the Mike Church Show Band from 2000. Now the bridge, as they call it. All right, to the Winebox Nan News for today. That's the Mike Church Show Band here on the Crusade Radio Network. You have to hear this. This one is actually funny. This is from OMSNBC yesterday. This woman... It's Katie McDonald. It's not McDonald. Katie McBrady. It's Katie McSomething. Katie McRacula. Whatever the hell her name is.
Turner.
Who?
Just Katie Turner.
It's not. I know it's Katie mixed some. In any event, play the soundbite. I don't care who it is. You got to hear this or watch it.
That created 9 million
Back on.
jobs in his term in office. Donald Trump has the worst record of job loss of any president. So we just have to make sure people know.
That was a global pandemic.
He had the worst record of any president. We've had other concerns in our country. If you want to be an apologist for Donald Trump, that may be your role, but it ain't mine. And he has the
think
worst.
that anybody can accuse him of
And we doing.
She gets so mad.
But and she actually does the whacked on, whacked off, whacked on, whacked off. He's the worst strip job performance ever. Whacked on, whacked on. In the history of worst president ever. Note that they take Trump's campaign rhetoric, worst president ever, and then they project it onto him.
Her name is Katie Tur.
Katie Turner.
T-U-R.
T-U-R. Katie Tur. Okay. Pelosi stopped dead in her speech track. She could not believe that some in-the-tank, fifth estate, state-run, state-owned media hack, a member of the Malachian satanic media, would actually dare. Who dare, whacked on, whacked off, to question the great and powerful, whacked on, whacked off, Pelosi! Exactly what you just heard.